In this conversation with Bill Hall, the president of Simulation Studios, we talk about what led him to start Simulation Studios and how he approaches organizational transformation. He used to be part of a band and then deciding to go to college and then getting an opportunity to do some work for Apple, and one thing leading to another, getting into roles that needed him to turn around organizations. Listen on. Yeah. Hi, Bill. Welcome to the Software People Stories.
Hi, Shiv. Thank you for having me and really appreciate your time.
So we can start with your origin story.
School was I wanted to do things. I didn't necessarily want to just sit and theorize in a book and listen to a teacher the whole time. That's kind of what led me to do Simulation Studios, because what I learned as an executive is if I can give people the experience of kind of the what, the why, and the how, the what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how they fit in using experiential learning, which is simulations, then it accelerates change with far less friction.
Is that working in the technology space,
Mm-hmm.
everybody kind of needs to accept change.
Yes.
But like you
Definitely.
mentioned, any organizational change, particularly the when you're on the rebound and you're the kind of turnarounds,
Yep.
there is a lot of unlearning to do as well.
That we're doing. And you talked about change. You mix that having to unlearn and relearn skills. When you mix that with kind of a resistance to change, which is, a very natural human reaction to things, that could be a tough mix for change within an organization, because you might be applying the wrong knowledge at the wrong time and resistant to do it. So yeah, spot on. That's a really important point. You gotta find a way where the technology can enhance the human kind of natural behavior to change and knowledge application, and that's the important mix. Now, how specifically, that can be a challenge because each corporate culture is so different.
Mhm.
But in most cases, you'd be surprised at how open people are to utilizing technology if they know it's for their benefit and it's not overcomplicated. People really gravitate towards that pretty quickly. That's where that team architecture is so important, that teamwork, because we all have things that we can teach each other, right? At the same time, we all have to bend our own personality, our own communication style, to be able to let the pollination of learning happen across geos, across teams, across functions, across personalities. That's the gift that a technological sim in its most simple form can enable, is scenarios that let everybody do that cross learning and change pollination.
So how did you get into simulation?
I wrote some games that allowed my top 25 or so employees to kind of run through my vision of what I thought this division of Skype, or the Skype, needed to be. And it was amazing. It was like a light bulb came on when I watched them do this, because by the time they got out, they were asking me, okay, now what can we do to get to where we got to in the game? Right. So in a sense, my take of my aha from that was we were where we were. And by playing this one day game or so, all of a sudden they were trying to get to where we needed to go to. My experience is people put too much emphasis on the sim, where the sim is a catalyst to help people learn and teach each other. It should not be the core of the change initiative or the core of the training program. One of the first things I say when I open up one of these programs is, this is your learning journey. You're being the participants. Everyone's going to learn something different, because it's so experience-based that the idea that we're going to jam one very complicated learning objective is a little unrealistic. Everyone's going to learn similar stuff, but they're definitely going to have different takeaways from it, just due to common different human experiences and their job roles and things like that.
I asked him how simulations help with individual contributors taking up transformational leadership roles. The answer to this question and more in the next episode, when Bill starts talking about some failures he had faced in his career.